All right, it's time to see if we can turn our knowledge into cash. Time for the Week 10 best bets. Pretty much been a coin flipper this year. Been right around 500 all year on the best bet. So now is the perfect time to get hot, get on a little bit of a run, and stack some things up here. Let's hope Week 10 is the start of all that. There are 4 games I like on this Week 10. I like to get to them now quickly. All 4 of these games in the 1 o'clock hour, the first wave of games. So it'll be a very nerve-wracking 3 hours for me personally. Let's start with the London game. The Dallas Cowboys facing the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. Cowboys a 7-point favorite on BETDAQ. Those of you who've been following what we've done here for BETDAQ over the past 2 or 3 years know that I like fading the Jags. And I am fading the Jags again here this Sunday. Listen, over the past couple of seasons, people just haven't caught on to just how bad the Jacksonville Jaguars are. I believe that is still the case, as they're just a 7-point dog against Dallas. I think there's the outside perception right now that Jacksonville is a team on the rise while Dallas is floundering a bit. And certainly the Cowboys have lost 2 straight games, but Tony Romo expected to be back in the lineup at quarterback. And in terms of the Jags being on the rise, they are 3-1 against the spread in their last 4 games. But still, this team, they're 1-8. 7 of their 8 losses this season have come by double digits. 32nd, dead last in points scored. 30th in points allowed. We know the Dallas Cowboys love to run the football, first in the NFL in rushing offense this season. The Jags really struggle against the run. They're surrendering over 123 yards per game on the ground. Last week they went up to Cincinnati and the Bengals rolled up 191 rushing yards despite missing their starting tailback Giovanni Bernard. So I think there's a really good matchup for the Dallas offense. I don't think Tony Romo is going to have to throw the ball more than 20 to 25 times. I think they're going to just roll right over the Jaguars defense. And Jacksonville just isn't good enough on offense to put up much of a fight against anybody. They've only exceeded 17 points 1 time in 9 games. So I think the Cowboys a good-looking bet as a 7-point favorite. Moving on now, let's go to Baltimore where the Ravens host the Tennessee Titans. Baltimore a big 10-point favorite in this game, but I don't think it's enough. I think this is going to be an absolute blowout. You look at the Ravens, a quality team, 5th in points allowed, 8th in points scored, but they've lost 2 straight games. Now, both those games have been on the road to division rivals. They lost on the road in Cincinnati in Week 8, on the road in Pittsburgh last week. They return home now the week before their bye week. They have a bye next week. They face a Tennessee Titans team that is really bad. The Titans average just 17.1 points per game. They're starting a rookie quarterback now, Zach Mettenberger, going up against this fierce Baltimore defense. I do not like Mettenberger's chances at all. And the Ravens offense, we mentioned 8th in the league in points scored. They've been much better than people realize this season. The Titans, not good on the defensive side of the ball. I think Baltimore is going to be able to name their score in this game. I like the Ravens -10 at home against Tennessee. Next one I like to talk about, the Buffalo Bills hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs, one of the hottest teams in the NFL, but do not sleep on the Buffalo Bills. They're a 1-point favorite on BETDAQ now. Early in the week, the Chiefs were a favorite here, so this line has seen some movement in the Buffalo direction. And I do like the Bills to cover the 1. Think they're going to pull out a home win. Good sell-high time for the Chiefs right now. Yes, they've been playing very well lately, but most of their success has been at home. Now they travel to Buffalo, where the Bills have been good this season. The Bills are really good on defense. I don't know if you've seen this defense play. Not only can they stop the run, but they can get after the quarterback. And the Chiefs, a very one-dimensional offense, top 5 rushing offense, but 29th in pass yards per game. Just don't think they're going to have much success on the road against this tough Bills defense. And on the other side of the ball, ever since Buffalo benched E.J. Manuel in favor of Kyle Orton, that offense has been rolling. Orton averaging nearly 280 pass yards per game. Really, the only weakness of this Buffalo offense was a glaring one, the quarterback position. Now that that weakness has been addressed, this offense balanced. Fred Jackson expected back in the lineup today after missing the last couple of games with that groin injury. Rookie wide receiver Sammy Watkins, who has turned into Orton's favorite target, he's been upgraded to probable for this game, so the Bills should have some offensive weaponry back. Well, Watkins has been playing, but Fred Jackson will be back. And I think they've got a good chance to beat the Kansas City Chiefs at home today. I like Buffalo -1. Final game I'm on today. Miami Dolphins going on the road to face the Detroit Lions. Detroit a 3-point favorite on BETDAQ. I know a lot of people think this is a good sell-high time for the Dolphins. Public opinion of Miami's never been higher after the 37-0 win over San Diego last week. But I'm riding the Dolphins one more week. I just think they're better than the Detroit Lions. Detroit, an overrated team, just not as good as their record would indicate. Their last 2 wins have each come by just 1 point. They were very unimpressive in their last game against the Atlanta Falcons over in London. Really, look at this Detroit offense. They've been unimpressive all season. Just 24th in points scored. Yes, I know they're getting Calvin Johnson back for this game, but Miami has been so good on defense. 3rd in both yards allowed and points allowed. 2nd against the pass. The secondary, the strength of this Miami defense, and the Detroit offense, very one-dimensional. The Lions, 31st in rush yards per game. So anything they've been doing through the air, and that's going to be very, very tough against this Miami secondary. The Dolphins also lead the NFL in yards per play allowed. They're only allowing 4.7 yards per play. This Miami defense, very stout. Of course, Detroit has a pretty good defense themselves. The Lions lead the league in both yards allowed and points allowed. But I don't know if you've seen this Dolphins offense over the past couple of weeks. I don't know if anybody in the NFL is doing things like Miami is doing right now on the offensive side of the ball. They really look like a Big 12 team, like a traditional spread offense. Their running game has been a lot of read option stuff. They've allowed Tannehill to take off and run the ball himself a little bit over these past few weeks. And the results have just been great. I mean, the Dolphins 4th in the NFL in rush yards per game. Ryan Tannehill has been on fire throwing the football, mainly because he's had receivers just running open through opposing secondaries because people so concerned with this Miami rushing attack right now. Even though Detroit's been very good on defense, I think Miami is going to be able to score enough in this game to hang close, very close, maybe even pull out a win. I think the Dolphins a good-looking bet as a 3-point underdog on the road in Detroit. There you have it. Those are my 4 games for this Week 10. I like Dallas -7 against Jacksonville, Baltimore -10 against Tennessee, Buffalo -1 against Kansas City, and the Miami Dolphins +3 on the road in Detroit. I wish you best of luck in whatever you decide to do in this Week 10, just so long as your interests don't conflict with my interests.